Don't waste time. Okay? Don't waste time. Okay, so let's now talk about two basic fundamental first step defensive moves, right? Techniques, right? Which is slipping and parry. So first, when you slip, there's two primary goals. One primary goal and a secondary goal, both are important. What's the primary goal in a slip? Avoid the punch, right? Avoid the punch. What's the secondary but also important goal? Create a circumstance or create an opportunity for yourself. So let me demonstrate a successful slip using the primary but not the secondary goal. So we're fighting and we're standing like this and we're both in a good stance and he throws a jab, right? He throws a jab and I go like that, okay? There's no doubt that I avoided the punch, right? He does it again, right? No doubt, right? But I'm not sure I created much of an offensive opportunity for myself in the process. Okay? In fact, I might have put myself right in his wheelhouse for his two, right? But let's say he throws that jab and we slip the way that we teach, the way I teach, which is down like this, where you fold your shoulder down to your knee. Let me show you. Fold your shoulder down to your knee. We're not just going like this, right? We're trying to do something optimal. Now I got opportunities. Now I'm within striking distance, right? Now I can do a whole bunch of things. The difference between this, where I was effective at the primary goal and not so much at the secondary goal, and this, where I was effective at both, and now I'm in control. With a simple movement of 6 inches, here versus here, right? I created opportunities for myself. I created an opportunity for me to be offensive off my defense, because a big defense is a big offense. That's right. Okay? So slipping can be this, where you just simply tilt your body off to the side. Okay? You're like this. We just tilt our body off to the side. Or slipping can be when you fold your shoulder down and you get a tactical advantage over them. We're not talking about riding or anything else. We're only going to go here or here for this. Okay? Slipping, you can either go here or here, right? For this drill we're going to fold our shoulder down and we're going to try and give ourselves a tactical advantage. We're going to try and use the fact that he's throwing the punch to get closer to him so I can do all kinds of things if I want, right? We're going to make him pay for throwing the jab. And then what happens when we have a successful slip and counter? Successful slip and counter. What happens? Right? He stops throwing his jab. Right? Or he starts making changes to his game. Right? He starts making alterations right off the bat. Right? Make them miss and make them right. When you start making them pay for everything, you know what happens when you tax something? You get less of it. Right? Every time he throws his jab, you're making a miss and you're taxing him for it. You're making a miss and you're jamming him up. He's going to start throwing it less and less and less. And halfway through the fight, he's not throwing his jab anymore. Off a simple move of folding your shoulder down to your knee. I'm not turning away. My chin is not going backwards like this. My chin is going down and forwards. I'm letting him get up over top of me. Up over top of me. Up over top of me like that. Go ahead and throw your jab. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. There's a little bit of this, right? Fold it down a little bit and make sure we're cocking our hip. Why are we interested in making sure that we load our hip? Right? So we can counter, right? If we just go like this and we don't cock our hip, we don't load our hip, we're not going to have a great counter, right? So it's down, you're folding your shoulder and you're hinging your hip, right? Hinging your hip. So you're ready to launch right after that. Slip, boom. Okay, try it again. In partners. Go ahead. Chin down. right? When he throws his first jab, your instincts are going to override you. You're going to be very jerky, right? Because you're not comfortable. Okay? But over time, this will start smoothing out. Then you'll have the idea, but then you'll be very animated and you'll overslip, right? So what we want this punch is to be here and then right here. We want this thing whistling by your ear. You're right here if I need it, right? The more space between the punch and my head, the further my hand is typically from my opponent and the further I have to come. So I want to be right in here. Right? I want to be right here when he throws it. And then conversely, when he throws his right hand, I don't want to be way over here. I want to use the same technique. I'm over here. Right? Now I'm like this. I'm close to him. I got all kinds of things I can do. Right? Close to our opponent. Let that thing whistle by. Close to our opponent. Close to our opponent. Right? This is creating my offense. Right? Now, this guy throws his right hand, and I slip and counter him enough times, he's going to stop throwing his right hand. Right? And this may be his whole thing. Right? This may be his whole thing. He throws that right hand every time I crack him down here on his liver. Right? He's going to stop throwing it. Then what's he going to do? Right? Most amateur fighters only have 3 or 4 things they can do in a fight. You take away their jab, or you take away their right hand, and they're going to have a long 3 rounds. And you do that just fundamentally off of slipping. 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 Now what we're not doing, right? We're not doing this. We're not doing this. It's very subtle. Hey, if you look right into the mirror like this, all we're doing is this, other way, this. Okay? Very simple. Not complex, not needy, not super animated. Very simple. Boom. Very short. How wide do you think that hand is? 3-4 inches, right? That's how much I have to move, right? Doesn't serve me to move over here on this particular skill, right? So it's very subtle. I'm going to take my shoulder and fold it down to my knee without letting my chin go backwards. My chin's not going backwards. You all see it? You see it? Okay? Good. You can speed it up as he gets more proficient. Good. Good. Give him a clue that it's coming. Good. You're going to have to be close, right? You're going to have to be close, right? When he comes in, you want him to get close to you. You want him to be here. You want him to throw that shot because when he throws that shot, right, chances are he's going to be tight as a drum, right? And you're just going to bam right here. Or you may just decide that I'm going to change with it. I'm going to just bam, bam, right? You may decide you want to pop, pop, right? Okay? You want him to be close to you, okay? You're going to take a few shots, but it's not going to ruin your modeling career. Don't change nothing. Do what you normally do. Do it again. Too much. Okay, let's talk about one thing real quick, okay? Height's an advantage in a fight. Height's an advantage in a fight. Okay, we want to punch down. We don't want to punch up. But you can stand too tall, right? You can tower over somebody, and that's a mistake because now you're letting them come up high on you, right? But you're taking yourself and making yourself small, right? So you're taking your height and you're making yourself small. You want to be, right? You want to be a little taller than him, right? You can get a little small, but you don't want to be shorting yourself down so you're punching down. And you have all this extraneous movement. It's this, right? A counter, boom, that's it. You don't have time. You don't have time for all this crap. You don't have time for it. We don't have time. It's a simple move. It's slip. That's it. That's what it looks like in a fight. Slip. That's it. It's not complex. It's not compound. It's not all that stuff. It's just a simple movement. Slip, like that. Slip, right? Here it comes. Punch, slip, right? 2-3 inches. It's not, you don't have time for all that, okay? He sees that. He's coming with his next shot. He's landing while you're coming out of your slip. Take your legs out of it. Chin down. Speed it up a little bit. That's a little better. Are you hinging your hip a little bit? Make sure you get a little hinge in your hip. Yep. Loading that hip. Now you're ready for that. Now you're ready for that counter. Stay close to his hand and put your chin down. Good. That looks good. Very simple. A little less with the legs. A little less with the legs. There you go. A little bit. You can use, right? You adjust to every circumstance, right? You adjust to every circumstance. If you need to get, if he's shorter and you need to get down a little bit, of course, right? But generally speaking, we want to do the minimum amount of movement required to get the result. The minimum amount of movement required to get the maximum result, right? Any more than that's extraneous and takes up time, right? We don't want you to waste time in your defense. We want you to set your offense up quick, short, right? Deliberate, precise. But you may fight people who are faster than you, who have better reflexes than you. You know what beats speed? Timing beats speed, right? You're wasting time, right? You're wasting time. Boom, right? Boom, boom. That's when it comes back. When you're down in here, you got to come all the way back. That might be the difference between that, landing and not landing, right? The minimum amount of movement to get the maximum result. That's what we want, right? Don't waste time, okay? Don't waste time. I'm telling you right now that every coach practices this, but it's not always easy to execute. So slip, 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 right? That works really good in practice. Slip, slip. But sometimes it won't work in a fight because you're trying to come from all the way over here, all the way back over here, and sometimes there's not enough time. And the worst possible thing that could happen is you get caught right here, right? So there is the slip and roll, but we're not working on that right now, right? I just want to make it, I'll make you aware of it, okay? We're working on slip, slip, because sometimes guys lead with the two and you're going to need to set that up, and a guy throws a one, but sometimes we are going to slip. If there's time and you feel, listen, when you get on somebody's time and when you get them with somebody, you'll know whether or not you have time to get across or not, okay? If you don't have time to get across, we'll just slip and roll, which I'll teach you next. But for right now, it's slip, slip, but it's not your only move, okay? It's a move you have to decide that it's worthwhile to do at that time and that you can get away with it, okay? But we are going to slip, slip. You may decide, though, in your jab, that you may just want to be out here for a little bit until you figure this guy out, because one of the reasons, why would you do that? What would be one of the reasons that distance would be something that you would cherish early in a fight? You don't know that guy's power, right? This guy might have a sleeper right here, right? Every time he hits you, right? You know what I mean? So you don't know. So it might just be wise early on, right? You want to stay back here and you want to slip back here a little bit. That's okay, right? That's okay. But we're trying to get to the point where we've created an optimal situation. You may fight like that the whole night too. This guy may just have brick hands, and you may just want to be on the outside the whole night, pecking and taking that fight. But we're working on something specific here, right? I'm not saying that all these situations work in every, you have to adjust, you have to be mindful. But we're trying to create something here. We're trying to create opportunity off of his offense, right? A big defense means you have offensive opportunities. If I'm out here like this, I have to change my opportunity. My opportunities are different. They're less because I have further to go, right? But it's not wrong. It's not wrong, okay? But we're working on something specific.